When we think about childhood, we imagine warmth, safety, innocence. But for some people, it was the exact opposite. These are stories from those who experienced sleep paralysis not just as adults, but as children, when they were most vulnerable. And what started in the dark corners of their bedrooms never truly went away. These are their memories. And if you've ever had nights like these, you're not alone. First history, the same room. 20 years later, when I was 7, I used to wake up in the middle of the night and stare at the corner of my room. I didn't know why. I just knew something was standing there. I'd wake up frozen, eyes wide open, heart racing. I couldn't scream, couldn't move, and couldn't look away from that dark spot. It always felt like someone tall was standing there, not doing anything, just watching. My parents said it was just nightmares. They moved my bed, switched my room. Nothing helped. The episode stopped around the time I turned 10. I thought I'd grown out of it. But now I'm 31, and it just came back. Last week, I moved back into my childhood home. My mom passed away, and the house was empty. I didn't even think about that room when I started moving my boxers in. The house smelled the same. Old wood dust, something faintly sweet in the air that I always hated. The first night I slept there, it hit me like a truck. I woke up at 3:12 a.m., paralyzed. Flat on my back. No sound. No wind, no reason to be awake. And then I felt it. The sensation came back, that same cold pressure in the corner of the room, same exact spot. I couldn't turn my head, but my eyes were straining, and I swear I could see the outline of something, not clearly, just absence, like the shape of a man made of static. The room felt thinner, like something was pressing down on the air itself. I tried to tell myself it was just stress, grief, being back in the house after all these years. But it happened again the next night. This time, I saw something more. I woke up frozen again, same time. But now, I could hear breathing. Slow, deep, wet breathing. It was coming from the corner, not just close. It was rhythmic, synced with my own heartbeat, like it was inside the room with me. I forced myself to blink, and when my eyes reopened, it was closer, still a shape, but more solid. I could see a pair of legs now, bare, pale. The thing was standing like it had always been there. I was shaking inside, screaming silently. My mouth wouldn't move. My limbs were dead weight, and the breathing didn't stop. It just got louder, like it was inhaling something from the room. The worst part, when I finally woke up and turned on the light, there were muddy footprints on the floor, leading from the corner to the side of my bed. I live alone. The third night, I didn't even try to sleep. I stayed up with the lamp on, sitting in bed. I kept the corner in my peripheral vision, refusing to look directly at it. But around 3 a.m., I started to feel tired, not sleepy, drained. My eyes got heavy. I blinked once, twice, and then I was back, flat on the bed, frozen. This time, I couldn't breathe. My chest felt crushed, and I saw it clearly. A man, naked, skin gray and thin like paper. No mouth, no eyes, just a long, stretched head, with something like veins crawling up the sides. It was kneeling beside me, hands on the mattress, staring right into me. I don't remember waking up. I don't remember falling asleep. I just opened my eyes in daylight and knew something had happened. That day, I moved into a hotel, but the paralyses haven't stopped. Now they happen anywhere. The shadow isn't in the corner anymore. It's at the foot of the bed. It's sitting in chairs. It's inside mirrors. And every time, it's getting closer. Second chapter, the diary. I don't remember writing. I found the notebook while packing up boxes from my childhood bedroom. It was wedged behind a drawer, half covered in dust, with my name scrawled on the front in messy handwriting, the kind you have when you're 7 years old. I don't remember writing in it, not one page. I opened it out of curiosity, expecting stick figure drawings or weird poems. But it wasn't that. It was detailed, focused. Every page described nights where I couldn't move, nights where I woke up frozen, where there was a man in the hallway, a man without a face. He's waiting at the door. He said not to tell anyone. If I don't close my eyes, he comes closer. Those are actual lines from the notebook, written in my own childhood handwriting. The scary part is, I had the same experience last week. I'm 28 now. I haven't lived in that house in almost 15 years. I moved across the country, started a new job, new life, never had sleep problems. Never even thought about that house. But last Monday, I woke up in the middle of the night, completely still, eyes wide open. And I knew I wasn't alone in the room. There was a figure standing in the doorway, not moving, just standing, watching me. My body felt disconnected, like my brain was inside a locked shell. I could think, I could scream in my head, but my lips wouldn't move, my hands wouldn't twitch. I stared at the hallway and thought, this can't be real. But then, I blinked. And when I opened my eyes again, he was closer. Not quite in the room yet, but enough that I could see the outline of his head. It was smooth, round, no features, just skin, like someone had erased his face completely. I didn't fall asleep again that night. The next morning, I couldn't shake the feeling, so I went through some old boxes my mom had mailed me. That's when I found the notebook. The entries matched. Dates, descriptions. Even the hallway was the same. I started reading more obsessively. I stayed up all night flipping through those pages. And that's when I noticed something else. Some of the entries had small drawings, sketches of what I saw, or what I thought I saw. But in the last pages, things got darker, messier scribbles over the man's face. One page just said, "He knows I'm remembering." I stopped reading after that, but that didn't stop him. The next night it happened again. I woke up paralyzed. Couldn't move, couldn't breathe properly. He was standing at the foot of my bed this time, still featureless, still perfectly still, but his head tilted slightly, just enough to let me know he sees me. I tried everything, sleeping pills, staying with friends, even sleeping with the lights on. Nothing works, and the worst part, the notebook. It now has new pages. I never wrote them, but they're in my handwriting. Last night's entry just says, "Tonight, he touches me." Third chapter, he used to sit on the ceiling. I was 5 the first time I saw him. My mom thought I was imagining things. She said I probably saw a shadow or had a bad dream. But I remember it clearly. He was sitting upside down on the ceiling, right above my bed, legs crossed, just watching me. His body didn't sway, his arms didn't move, he didn't blink. Just hung there like gravity didn't apply to him. I used to call him the quiet man. He showed up once every few nights until I was about 8. I never saw his face. It was like his head was always just out of focus. Then one night, he disappeared. I never saw him again. I eventually forgot about it. Childhood imagination, I thought. I'm 30 now. I hadn't thought about that thing in decades. But 3 nights ago, I woke up in my new apartment, frozen. I couldn't move my arms, couldn't even turn my head. All I could do was stare straight up at the ceiling. And he was there, same posture, same stillness, cross-legged arms resting on his knees. But this time, his head was turned toward me. Still blurry, still wrong. But now I could tell he was smiling. Not a normal smile. A wide, stretched one that didn't fit the shape of his face. My heart felt like it was tearing through my ribs. I tried to scream, but it came out like air pushing against thick plastic. No sound, no movement. Just his face hovering upside down above me. And then, slowly, he tilted his head all the way until it was upside down too, like a mirror of mine. I don't remember falling asleep again. But the next morning, there were scratch marks on the ceiling, long ones, deep, directly above my bed. I painted over them, tried to convince myself it was just old damage. But the next night, I woke up frozen again. This time, he wasn't sitting anymore. He was crawling down, arms bent backward, legs dragging. And that smile never changed. I couldn't scream. I couldn't blink. I just watched as he slowly lowered himself, until his face was an inch from mine. I blacked out. I haven't slept in 2 nights, but I hear noises in the ceiling now, scraping, breathing, and sometimes I wake up, Not in bed, but on the floor, with the ceiling above me completely clean, like he took something with him when he left. Fourth chapter, The Thing Under the Covers. I've never told anyone this, not even my therapist. I used to think what happened to me as a kid was just a series of nightmares. But now that I'm older, I've realized something terrifying. It's been following me. When I was around 9, I had these episodes where I'd wake up paralyzed. But instead of seeing things in the room, I felt something inside the bed with me. Under the covers, it would press against my legs, slowly move up my body, and stop at my chest, like it was watching me from inside the sheets. I couldn't scream, I couldn't move. I'd feel its weight settle, like a second heartbeat vibrating through the mattress. Then it would whisper something I couldn't understand, not words, just ... sounds, like breath trying to imitate language. It happened a dozen times when I was a kid, then it stopped. But last week, at 34, it came back. I woke up in the middle of the night, sweating, paralyzed, and the second I realized I couldn't move, I felt it. That weight, that pressure slowly sliding up under the covers. My brain screamed, "Not again." The whisper was louder this time, closer to my ear, like it had been waiting to speak for decades. It didn't feel like a hallucination. It felt personal, real, the heat, the texture of it, the way the blanket lifted slightly like something was crawling beneath it. And then, it said something I understood. "Found you." My throat locked, my eyes flooded with tears, and then I passed out. Since then, I've changed beds. I've even tried sleeping on the floor. Doesn't matter. Every night, the sheets move, and every night, it gets closer to my face. Fifth chapter, The Woman in the Frame. I used to have this painting in my childhood bedroom. It was a gift from my grandmother, an old, faded portrait of a woman standing in a garden. She wore a long dress, and her face was turned slightly to the side, not smiling, not frowning, just watching something. I always hated it. Something about her eyes, the way they seemed to follow me when I moved. I remember waking up at night, frozen in bed, and seeing her in my peripheral vision. Not in the frame, but outside it, standing next to my closet. I thought it was just dreams, night terrors. My parents eventually got rid of the painting. They said I was too scared of it. After that, I stopped having the episodes. Until last month, I was visiting my uncle in New Mexico. He owns a small antique store, and while walking through the back room, I saw it. The same painting, same woman, same garden, same expression. I froze. He said he found it at an estate sale and thought it was beautiful. I told him I had one just like it as a kid. That night, I stayed in his guest room. The painting was hanging across from the bed. I tried not to look at it, but around 3 a.m., I woke up paralyzed. The painting was gone, not just off the wall, completely missing, and standing in its place was her. The woman, same dress, same face, only now she was looking straight at me. She didn't move, didn't blink. But I swear her dress fluttered, like there was wind in the room. And then she stepped forward. The moment her foot touched the ground, my ears rang, a high-pitched whine that drowned out every thought in my head. I passed out. When I woke up, the painting was back on the wall. I tried to brush it off. Maybe I dreamed it. Maybe I was overtired. But that night, in my own apartment, I woke up frozen again, and at the foot of my bed, leaning against the wall, was the painting. I didn't bring it home. I've tried burning it, tossing it in dumpsters, leaving it in random parking lots. It always finds me, and now, she doesn't wait in the painting anymore. She sits at the edge of the bed, closer every night. Sixth chapter, The closet door never closed right. My bedroom closet always gave me a bad feeling. When I was little, the door would never stay shut, even when it was latched. I'd wake up and find it slightly open, just enough to see blackness inside. I used to hear things, breathing, shuffling. Once I thought I saw fingers curling around the edge. My parents told me it was just the house settling. Drafts a creaky hinge. When I turned 11, the paralysis started. I'd wake up in bed, unable to move, staring straight at the closet door. And every time, it would be a little more open. But I never saw anything come out. Never heard footsteps. Just ... presence. Eventually, the episode stopped. I moved away at 18 and never looked back. But 2 weeks ago, I visited my dad. He's getting older, and the house hasn't changed at all. Same furniture, same paint, same closet door. My old room was waiting for me like I never left. That night, I woke up at 3:06 a.m., frozen stiff. The closet door was wide open, not slightly, not cracked, wide. And I could hear something breathing, slow, ragged, like it had been waiting there the whole time. I tried to move my head. Nothing. I could only stare at the black doorway. And then I saw it. 2 white eyes, not glowing, just pale, reflective, like wet bone catching the moonlight. They blinked once, then moved closer to the edge of the door. I still couldn't move, couldn't scream. Whatever it was stepped out, crawling on all fours, long arms, knees bent wrong. Its skin was loose, like it didn't quite fit. It crawled to the foot of the bed, then ... stopped. I don't remember what happened after that. I woke up at noon, sweating through my shirt. Closet closed, but when I opened the door, there were scratch marks on the inside, deep ones. Paralysis. And now back in my apartment, my closet door won't stay shut either. Every night I wake up, and every night, it's open a little wider. 7th chapter. We both had the same dream. When my sister and I were kids, we used to sleep in the same room. She was 2 years younger, and we'd talk for hours before falling asleep about school. Cartoons, scary stories we weren't supposed to know. Around age 10, I started waking up paralyzed. My body wouldn't move, and I'd feel this pressure in the room, like the air was thicker, and there was always this shadow near the door. Tall, wide, breathing. I never told anyone, not even her. I thought it was just nightmares. But one night, I woke up frozen again, staring at the ceiling. I could hear breathing but not mine, deeper, close. Then I heard my sister whisper, "He's looking at us again." That broke me. I couldn't speak, couldn't respond, but hearing her say that, it meant she saw it too. The next morning, we didn't talk about it. Not ever. It was like some silent rule between us. We both moved out years later, drifted apart. 2 weeks ago, she called me at 2 a.m. She was crying. "It's happening again," she said. "I saw him. In the corner of my bedroom. I felt cold all over." She said he hadn't changed. Still tall, still breathing loud, still standing in the exact same way. That night, I had my first episode in almost 15 years. I woke up paralyzed, lying on my side, facing the door. And there he was. Only this time, there were 2 shadows, one near my bed, one near hers. We talked about it the next day, really talked. Compared details, descriptions. They match. We're in different cities now, different homes, but we're both having the exact same dreams. The same presence, same hour, same words whispered. "Don't move. He's choosing." And we both wake up with bruises on our arms, always in the same spot. 8th chapter. The static in my baby monitor. I was 6 when my little brother was born. His crib was in the room next to mine, and every night, my parents kept the baby monitor on, one in their room, one in mine. I remember hearing static a lot, but not regular static. This one would pulse, like breathing. I started having paralysis around that time. I'd wake up, frozen, while the monitor hissed and popped beside my bed. Sometimes, I could hear voices, faint, just below the noise. "He's listening," they'd say, "closer now." I'd stare at the ceiling, unable to blink, feeling something crawl up my legs under the blanket. It lasted for months. Then one night, the monitor exploded in static so loud it woke my parents. They threw it away. After that, the paralysis stopped. Until now. My wife and I just had a baby. I set up a new monitor last week. Modern, digital, clean sound. First night we used it, everything was fine. Second night, I woke up at 3:18 a.m., paralyzed. and the monitor beside the bed was hissing. That same pulsing sound. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. I stared at the wall, heart pounding, and then I heard it. He's listening again. My body locked up, the hairs on my arms stood. I heard something move in the hallway. The baby monitor screen lit up. A figure walked past the crib. Tall, wrong shape. Then the screen went black. I forced myself to blink. That broke the paralysis. I ran to the nursery. My son was sleeping peacefully. But the air smelled like metal, and the walls were cold. Every night since, the monitor turns on by itself. It whispers. Sometimes it says my name. Sometimes it says my son's.